Have you ever wanted a VR treadmill, but you just can't afford it? What if I told you there's an alternative that you have right now and can use in pretty much every VR game, with varying levels of success, but I'll explain that later. VR is really cool and immersive already, but I'm sure if you play a lot of VR, you really wish you could just walk around normally. And while the technology does exist for it, even if it's still pretty early, there's one problem: it's very expensive. And even with that price tag, people have said that a lot of the time it doesn't even really feel like walking. Specifically with Cat VR, it just apparently doesn't feel like walking. But surely there has to be an alternative, right? Well, there actually are a few alternatives. One alternative that is incredibly skill-based, I'd say, is using space turn, where essentially you can either walk in circles in real life while constantly turning, or you can walk for a few feet and then turn around and turn your play space around as well. The problem with this is that it's really easy to, well, hurt yourself, and it's also hard to do. You really have to get used to it. Another alternative is some games have it so that they actually detect the movement of your hands and then convert that into running. But it feels really bad. It doesn't feel good. And finally, if you're feeling really adventurous, you could probably try to use like a normal treadmill, but that'd be very easy to get hurt and it's super restrictive. I wouldn't recommend that one. But anyway, let's move on to the actual testing. But before I tell you what the method I use actually is, I want to see if you can guess. I don't know how I just survived. One thing you'll notice pretty quickly is that VR headsets are not made for this sort of thing. They just don't really stay on your head that well, and sometimes tracking can get really wonky when you're running around. I found that this wobbling actually added a very interesting element though. Whenever I wanted to conserve my stamina, I could just run normally as comfortably as I want to, and it was a little bit easier. But whenever I was starting to peek a corner, I would have to stabilize myself pretty much. I would only have to move my legs, try and keep my upper body stable, but it used a lot more energy. Holy frick. My goodness, this is so tiring. Oh no, that scared me so bad. I know I should have checked that angle. I didn't. I was focusing on running instead. My heart's actually going a little bit though. I mean, I'm not just sprinting, so it's not too bad, and I don't have a bunch of weight on me. But like, okay, if you were to put weight on you, like you wore a backpack or something while doing this, I feel like this would get 10 times better. Like 10 times more immersive if you did that. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt though, and I have it rolled up, but the first half I didn't, and I got really hot really quickly. Another note was, of course, because I'm running around all over the place, I did actually get pretty tired by the end of the play session. I only played here for about 40 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, but by the end of it, I was pretty tired. Having to battle with your own body in order to get the tasks done was really... It was so much fun for me. I don't know if it's that fun for you. It was fun for me. I liked it. This is tiring. Okay, let's move to the next area. Dying is another thing. Oh my god. Oh no, I didn't check it. Just the extra immersion added from the sway and fatigue, generally everything just being more similar to real life, made dying a lot scarier. I wouldn't say I was more scared during the situations, I'd say it's about the same, but whenever I did die, it really surprised me. It surprised me a lot more than it ever did in the past. It might have been our target. That's him. Okay. Let's go. There's gonna be a billion people there. I'm gonna have to kill. Oh, I had to one-hand it, dang it. Now, I'll reveal what it is. If you have a VR headset, I highly recommend trying this. I know it seems silly. It'll be a little bit difficult at first, but it's a lot of fun once you get used to it. And after my, I think, 4,000 hours in VR now, this is one of the most interesting things I think I've come across recently. All I am doing, literally all I'm doing, is I'm high-kneeing whenever I step in game. What that means is, every time I take a step in game, I take either my left or my right knee up 90 degrees in front of me, and then back down again. That's it. And this seems really stupid, right? It seems dumb. And I thought it was gonna be dumb. I really did. But then I tried it for a while and really gave it a serious shot. It's so much more fun. I enjoy VR FPS games a lot more because of this. Certainly though, it helps to set rules. And the number one rule I was doing was no matter what speed, no matter how tired I am, I always have to bring my legs out fully to 90 degrees. And surprisingly, with just that, it really did work quite well. It feels really stupid when you do it at first, and you really gotta think about it a lot more than you think you probably should. But once you're used to it, it's freaking cool. Being able to get exhausted from running a certain amount of distance or having to deal with the weapons play whenever you're clearing buildings is just such a cool experience. It's so cool. Now for the issues though, the bad parts. As I said in the beginning, most VR hardware is not really made for this. So you'll start to notice some tracking issues with Quest 2, and the biggest issue for VR FPS specifically, is your headset will start to move up and down. Normally this isn't an issue. I mean, it looks a little bit weird, but it's fine. The problem is when you're trying to aim down sights, your head will actually move. It'll move up and down. So your vision will move up and down, even if your eyes aren't. This can be countered quite a bit by really slowing yourself down. Or alternatively, one thing that I discovered is that you can stabilize yourself. Keep your upper body and your head as stable as possible while only moving your legs. It's really hard to do, but that does help this way quite a bit. It doesn't completely remove it, but it helps it quite a bit. Anyway, now go have fun running. I'll see you later, and thank you for coming by. I hope your night or day is incredible. Bye bye!